Hello, hi, and welcome to another Q&A from Nollywood Week Film Festival. This is the Q&A for the short film bundle, It's Complicated. And we are here with two of the directors from two short films, one Something Special and the other one from Trainwreck, as well as one of the lead actors. So I'm going to first pull in the filmmakers so they can introduce themselves.
The music is pretty loud.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, it would be good if you mute
Hello,
on
hi, and welcome
your
hi.
end. Q&A from Nollywood Week Film Festival. You should close the view on your end. The short film bundle. It's complicated. And I'll pause from you. Hi, Precious.
I don't know. I keep forgetting to take away the mute.
To unmute. It's okay. It's okay. I just want to remind you all, make sure you don't have the live stream open on your side, or else, because there's the delay and the sound will play in.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So close extra windows on your end. Is it closed for you, Roberta? Let's try to. Hi. Okay. Can you, Roberta? I'll start with you. If you can introduce yourself, your film, and your motivation behind the story, or a quick summary of the film.
Okay. So my name is Roberta Oriuma. Before now, I was just working as a producer, but I've always wanted to direct film. So what motivated the story? So a friend of mine, Tamara, she had written Trainwreck about 2 years ago. And then she had given it to some people. She was speaking to some people about producing. Guides for it wasn't working for her. So during the lockdown, I thought about it and I was like, okay, let's do it. I can do it. And then I had a conversation with her and then we decided to just go ahead and do it. So the story Trainwreck is very particular for me because I know that infidelity in marriages are very common. And people don't really sit down to think about the dangers it can give to the other party in the marriage, right? So, and then you are unfaithful, you don't take into consideration a lot of things. First of all, it's wrong. Second of all, you're playing with someone else's health. You can play with your health, but it's totally unfair to drag an innocent person into this equation and play with their health. So I felt like it was a very important story to tell. So that was the motivation behind it.
Okay, thank you. And that's actually a good kind of like counterbalance segue into Precious's story, because you mentioned the part about playing with someone's health, and Precious's story is kind of someone who doesn't want to have their health kind of mess up with the other person in their relationship. So Precious, if you can just briefly introduce yourself, let us know your background and a little bit about your film.
Okay. So my name is Precious Aswai. Something Special is basically the first film I made this year. Of course, due to the pandemic, it's been difficult for me to sort of like make stuffs. Of course, I've been making some minor stuffs at home, but Something Special is like the major one for this year. And the film is basically about two friends who have this secret, one of them wanting to move their relationship to another stage while the other had cancer. Now, these two things are basically going to affect their relationship in one way or another when it's set. So, of course, on the anniversary, that day is basically going to sort of like determine, or whatever they say to each other is going to determine if their relationship is going to continue or not. Now, the reason for making this is basically the part, basically trying to sort of like talk about how relationships should not be based on what we can get out of someone, and then also basically showing empathy for one another, basically.
Okay, great. And I want to know, because you said this is your first film that you made this year, but do you mean that are you a first-time director? You've made other films in the past?
No, I've made
So how
other
many
films.
films do you normally? so how many films do you normally make a year? Because it's a funny thing to say first film of this year. I mean, how many
So,
films do you normally do?
first major film. So the other films that I make are basically, so for me, I differentiate them based on how serious the project is and how personal they are for me. So for something special, it meant a lot for me, and which led to me having to put in all the resources that I had to make it happen. But for every other film that are pretty much basic, it's sort of like me gathering one or two people and just putting out something. But for this year, this is like the major stuff. But of course, I
Okay.
make films as much as I can.
Okay. And Roberta, you said you were in production before, so and this is your first film.
Directing, yes.
Yes,
Was my
your first time
time
directing.
Yes. it
Okay.
was.
All right. So then for you, it's your directorial debut, and Precious, you do it often, but this is your first major one for this year. And I want to
Sorry?
kind of get into your backgrounds. Did you all go to film school? Do you have training in film?
No, no. Okay, so for me, so I got interested in the arts when I was younger. About 8, I started writing. So I kind of started as a writer. So, and then when I entered the industry, I entered the industry as a writer. I was working for a writing company, and then I did a bit of theater production in theater, and then I started working on set as a production manager and sometimes as an assistant director. And then last year I decided to do my first film, direct my first film. I also I work as operations manager for a media company. It's called Switch. It's in Lagos, Nigeria. So yeah, they've been very supportive, and then that's been great for.
Okay, great. And so you came in through writing and through scripting. So did you write Trainwreck?
Yes.
Did you write it as
No,
well?
I just
Okay.
no, I edited. I worked on edits for Trainwreck, but
Okay.
the major story was from Tamara. She's the lead actor in
Right.
Trainwreck. Yes.
Okay, so it's coming from her. And in terms of her, I mean, I know she's not here to say, but in terms of that story, do you know? Because there's elements. I mean, you kind of touched on this before. You said it was really important to tell the story of, infidelity in a relationship for several reasons. But the characters as well. They're Muslim, and a lot of times with Islam, there's polygamy in it. And is it
Yes.
part of that you were also touching on, or it just happened
Yes.
to be random?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it wasn't random. So there was a story. So Trainwreck was inspired by some true life events, in her life. So with some people she knew, so they inspired Trainwreck. So she wrote Trainwreck because of their experiences. It's not the same story, but it's based off that experience. So we had talked about it. We had conversations, and we had to do it because we felt like there were a lot of people would relate to the story. A lot of people would understand these characters and their struggle.
Okay, and while I still have you, I want to ask you in terms of the financing of the film. Number one, what was the total budget?
For Trainwreck?
Yes.
Yeah, so so that's funny because there were some things we were supposed to pay.
Oh. Are you still there? I think you might have. Oh, switch. Are you still there, Precious?
Still here.
Okay, I think Roberta's connection might have froze a little bit right when she was about to tell us her interesting story. But we'll ask. But I'll go to you in the meantime, because I have the same question for you in terms of your film background. In terms of did you go to film school? And then after that, if you can also let us know in terms of for this film about the budget.
Okay. I went to film school for 2 years, but of course, majority of what I've learned in filmmaking have always been from YouTube. So from everything that I've watched, everything I've learned from YouTube, I try to put them into practice in the films that I've made. Then, of course, the budget for something special is about 600.
$600 US dollars?
No, sorry, 600,000 naira.
600,000 naira?
Yeah.
Oops, 600,000 naira. And where did you receive the financing? Or normally when you make your films, do you use private funding? Do you borrow? Like, how do you go about being able to make your films?
It has always been self-financed. So yeah, so everything has always been financed by me, of course. With a few support from family.
Okay, and in terms of that, are you in the space of short filmmaking because that's a space that you are comfortable in, or are you doing short films as a proof of concept and you're hoping to one day, make a feature film? Or for you, what is your trajectory?
Yes, it's as a proof of concept, but of course not for the actual film that I'm making to end up being turned into a feature, but of course to sort of like show what it is, part of what it is that I can do. And of course, the major purpose is so in the future I can make a feature film.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
so sorry, the network was bad.
No problem. We were speaking with Precious about his budget and the way he goes about getting financing. So you can go ahead and finish as well in terms of, you were saying about what your budget is, and then if you can let us know how were you able to finance the film.
Okay, so for me, it was majorly I spoke to a lot of people, right? And then I had some persons that showed interest because they've seen the work I've done on other projects that were not my projects. And so I spoke to some people and they were willing to contribute in some way to financing Trainwreck. And then I had a lot of help with equipment. So I told you I work at Switch Media, so they had given me some of the equipment I used for Trainwreck, and I didn't pay for those because of relationship. And then I also got some locations for free. So the major location I used for Trainwreck, I didn't pay for that. If I paid for that, it would have been my budget would have just gone up. And then yeah, that was also good for me. But for financing, at the end of the day, we spent close to ₦1 million for the crew we had to pay, the feeding, the actors, some of the actors we had to get on the project. And then for editing, sound, design, and things like that, we had to pay for those ones. There was no way I could get those for free. So I had to do it. But we felt like it was worth it because it was a very important story to us. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so in terms of your financing, so you're saying it's mainly from private and personal funds. With the subject matter, did you ever try, because with your subject matter, a lot of times you can have like support because it's something that the government needs or organizations need to spread the word on these issues. Have you ever tried to go for any kind of grants or subventions or anything like that?
No, I haven't applied for any grants yet. But I'm totally open to it. So I was speaking to some friends, and because I haven't released Trainwreck officially, it's not on any platform yet. So we're planning releasing the release date for it. So we're also talking about possible people we could talk to, HIV and AIDS awareness campaign organizations and things like that. So these are the things we are looking into for now. But yeah, we're having conversations regarding that, definitely.
Okay, great. I want to bring in Chris, who is the actor, one of the lead actors inside of Something Special. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, lovely, thank you.
Okay, great. Where are you based, out of curiosity?
Where am I based? Oh, Lagos, Nigeria.
Oh, okay. Okay, it was out of curiosity. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know in terms of you, because we were talking, I was asking them, is this their first film? A lot of times with short films, it's a launching pad to go into acting, into directing and other things. For you, is this your first time acting? Is this your first film?
No, it's not. I've been on a couple of stuff. I've been in the
Mhm.
industry for say about 2 years now.
And what other things have you been in that we can look for you?
Okay. On Envivo TV, I've starred in two series that are right there on Envivo TV. Small Girl Big God and
Mhm.
Dear Nigerian Parent. I have a couple of stuff that are yet to be released. I think one is going to be dropped next month. That is
Mhm.
Man in Pinpoint Media Productions. Um, I've done a couple of
What is it?
stage
What's the name of it?
productions. Man Pikin,
Man Pekin. Okay.
yes, Man Pikin. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a Pidgin word.
Yeah.
Then
Uh-huh.
then I also I starred in one web series. It's on YouTube now. It's
Mhm.
titled Dollar Belly in Real Life. Yeah, that one just
Okay.
dropped like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I have this couple of stuff here and there.
Okay, great. And I mean, you did seem experienced and like a natural, um,
Thank you.
and you did an excellent job in terms of that. And even though I have to say that my favorite part from you is your dance. I like your dance moves.
Oh my God.
But yeah. So, and then I'm going to just ask all of you all because we're running out of time in a few minutes. So I'm going to ask each of you two questions. So think about your answer. The first question is, who are you most inspired by globally? The second question is, who is your biggest role model in Nollywood, in the Nigerian industry? Who wants to start? I'll have to pick. All right, Precious, we'll start with you.
Okay. I try to run away from questions like this, and that's because, honestly speaking, I know a lot of people have role models and have stuff like that, but I honestly do not. I do have favorite films, and that's more of what I'm focused on. As long as I like the film you make, that's it. So for me, it's not so much about the filmmaker; it's about the film that they made. So that's what connects me.
Yeah, so please share. So in terms, I mean, because a lot of times directors have a film style or film directors that they might be influenced by, or something that has grabbed them, or even maybe something that inspired you to become a director yourself. Can you name a few films that really kind of made a mark on you?
Uh, can't think of any for now, to be honest. There
You
are
don't want to be
several.
tied to anything.
I won't be able to mention one particular one that I've made that strong impact in me, to be honest.
Okay. And what about you, Chris?
I'm sorry, I was still on mute. I'm really sorry. Okay, so let me take it back. So yeah, I said for a source of inspiration in the industry, if I'm taking it way back, it's going to be Ramsey Noah. And for actors that are still doing a lot of acting right now, I would say Gabriel Afolayan, in the sense that he is epic on every single film you see him. He's not everywhere, but anytime you see him, you know the quality of what you're going to get. Like it's almost like once you see Gabriel Afolayan in a film, you know, like it's going to be a serious film. You know. So that's the kind of actor I want to be, in the sense that when people would be motivated to see a film just because I'm in it. Like even if you hear a rumor that man that film is that film was shitty, I saw it and all that, you would not. I don't think so. He is in it. I want to see it regardless. So yes, that's the kind of actor I want to be. Then for then globally, I would say uh okay, not one person that stands out for me, but I would say Leonardo DiCaprio, Christian Bale, and then Meryl Streep, because yeah, they are like Christian Bale now. He's very versatile. He goes all out when he wants to, um, you know, get into character and all that. You know, it's mind, physical, every single thing that needs to be done has to be done. You know, and I'm inspired by the fear of being average, and you know, so I just do all these certain things to be able to stand out, like these people are standing out in their industry. So yeah.
I wanted to say, well, Gabriel Afolayan, he's in a film that will be showing at 5:30 today, Nigeria time, for Maria Ibn Pataki. So I don't, yeah, I mean, yeah. So like you said, serious film, serious actor. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is one coming up. Okay, good. And then Roberta, do you have your answer? You're on mute as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so globally, I'm inspired by Ava DuVernay, because she makes me believe more in dreams, right? Because she didn't start filmmaking early, and then she's doing all this great stuff, and you look at her and you feel like she's had so many years to be in the industry, but no, right? So I think brilliant. I think she's amazing, and that's an inspiration for me. And then in the industry, in the Nigerian industry, I'm inspired by Mo Abudu. I know she's not a director, I know that, but I am inspired because she has access to do the kinds of projects she wants to do. And that's a dream for me, to get to a point in my career when I can afford to do the kinds of projects I want to do, because the kind of ideas I have for stories are always major stuff, right? And it takes financing to do that. So I'm working towards it every time. I'm currently working on a production. My first major production is going to be a web series, 10-episode web series. We're supposed to start filming end of the month. So it's bits and pieces. So for me, it's putting one step in front of the other, doing the next project I'm inspired to do, until I get to a point where I can afford to do what I want, anything I want to do. That's it.
Okay, well, good. I mean, it seems like you all are all focused and clear in terms of the direction you want to hit in, and I'm pretty sure you all will all reach that. You all are very talented, you know, in your own right. So congratulations and good luck with everything in the future. And thank you for joining us for this Q&A for Nollywood Week.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we're going to sign off. And everyone else, if you want to continue the conversation, you can always go into the networking hub to keep the conversation going. And next up, we have the sessions. Bye.